Some symbols, they speak a language that's older than words. They don't really need to be explained, you just kind of feel them. They tap into a part of us that remembers something really essential about the journey of life. And maybe no symbol is as powerful, as universal, as the lotus flower. I mean, we see it everywhere, right? This perfect picture of purity and beauty. But its real power isn't just in how perfect it looks at the end. It's in the story it tells, a story about where it comes from, what it has to move through, and what it ultimately becomes. And really, it's a story about us.
Just think about that journey for a second. Really feel it. It starts in the dark, down in the mud, the messy, earthy, raw stuff of life. And that's not a bad thing. That's the foundation. It's our connection to the earth, to our past, to all the tangled, complicated stuff that makes us who we are. And from there, something starts to happen. A quiet, determined push up through the murky, emotional waters of the world. The lotus is reaching for something it's never even seen, a light it only knows by instinct. And then, after this long, quiet struggle, it finally breaks the surface and opens itself up to the sun. It unfolds, not by fighting, but almost by surrendering. A perfect, radiant blossom. And that's not just a plant growing. It's a sacred story of becoming.
And right away, this story asks us a really deep question about our own lives. When that lotus blooms, has it made something brand new? Or has it just revealed the perfection that was already hidden inside its seed from the very beginning? So what about our own growth? Is it a process of adding layers to ourselves, getting more skills, more status, more knowledge? Or is it something else? Maybe a process of unfolding, of gently revealing the essence that's been patiently waiting inside us this whole time.
And let's take that one step deeper. What if this whole incredible process, from the mud, through the water, to the light, what if it wasn't just some random, mechanical thing that nature does? What if it was the deliberate, intelligent expression of a living, divine presence? A force whose very nature is beauty, whose essence is delight, and whose deepest wish is for everything to reach its fullest, most beautiful expression. What if the universe itself actually wants you to bloom? Because whether we realize it or not, we are all on this journey. We might not call it unfoldment, but we feel that same pull upward. We're all seeking something. We might call it success in our career, building something that gives us purpose. We might call it creating a happy family, a place of warmth and connection. Or maybe we call it finding inner peace, or just financial security. These are the names we give to that light we're pushing toward. There are versions of the sun. We are all, in our own way, a lotus pushing up from the mud, reaching for our own kind of light.
And in that search for fulfillment, for that feeling of abundance and grace, we often turn to this beautiful, beloved image, the goddess Lakshmi. She's the embodiment of fortune, of grace, the one who fulfills all our worldly and spiritual desires. She's got the golden vessel, she sits on the lotus, just radiating benevolence. She represents getting everything we're searching for. In a lot of ways, we see her as the destination, the beautiful prize at the end of the journey.
But hold on a second. This beautiful image, she's the blossom. She's the final, glorious result. But a blossom can't exist by itself. What about the rest of the plant? What about the roots holding on in the mud? Or the stem that made the journey through the water? What's the life force, the actual principle that drives that whole journey? If Lakshmi is the fulfillment of desire, then what is the nature of that divine urge for fulfillment in the first place? There's a deeper layer here, a secret that's kind of hidden in plain sight.
And that deeper essence has a name, Kamalatmika. The name literally means she whose nature is of the lotus. Now, she isn't separate from Lakshmi, she is Lakshmi, but she's also something more. She is the wisdom, the consciousness, the divine principle behind the form of Lakshmi. Think of it like this. Lakshmi might give you a beautiful piece of art, but Kamalatmika is the ability to actually see and feel its beauty. Lakshmi might give you wealth, but Kamalatmika is the ability to feel the joy and security that wealth is supposed to bring. She isn't just the giver of gifts, she is the very nature of beauty, the essence of delight itself that makes any gift truly worth having.
And where she shows up in the Tantric tradition is so important. Among the 10 wisdom goddesses, the Mahavidyas, Kamalatmika is the 10th and final one, and that is no accident. The journey through these wisdom goddesses takes you through every single facet of reality, from the most terrifying aspects of destruction and chaos to the most blissful states of being. And Kamala, coming at the very end, represents the final stage, the complete, total manifestation of divine consciousness right here in the material world. She's the ultimate proof that spirituality isn't about escaping life, but about the full, rich, beautiful flowering of life.
So, what does this actually mean for us in our everyday lives? Well,
It completely changes how we seek things. On the path of ordinary goals, we ask for wealth, for a partner, for success. Those things are the finish line. But on the deeper path, the path of Kamala, the whole game changes. It asks us to see these desires not as the end goal, but as little markers on a much bigger journey, the unfoldment of our own soul. The difference is subtle, but it's everything. It's the difference between asking for one beautiful flower and asking to understand the nature of the entire garden where all flowers come from. One gives you something temporary, the other gives you the source of all beauty.
And this brings us to her biggest secret. Her true gift, the ultimate wealth she gives, isn't something you can hold or put in a bank account. It's the beauty of perception. It's a quality of your own consciousness. It's the ability to see and feel the divine, radiant quality that is already in everything, in nature, in art, in other people, even in the simple joy of just being alive. This is a kind of wealth that can never, ever be taken from you, because it's not something you own, it's something you are. It's a huge shift from what can I get to what beauty can I see.
Now, this might seem like a paradox, right? How can we truly enjoy the world without getting desperately attached to it, without being terrified of losing it? Well, this is where Kamala's secret relationship with another powerful goddess, Kali, comes in. Kali is the dissolver, the void, the power that strips away our ego and our attachments. She teaches us, sometimes the hard way, to let go. And it's only after we've learned that lesson of non-attachment from Kali that we can truly receive the pure gift of Kamala. Because without attachment, our enjoyment of the world is just pure. We're not trying to own beauty anymore, we're just letting ourselves be touched by it. The profound emptiness of Kali creates the perfect, open space for the radiant fullness of Kamala to bloom.
So this really forces us to rethink everything. We started out talking about seeking success and happiness and peace. We looked at Lakshmi as the giver of those things. But now, with this deeper wisdom of Kamalatmika, we have to ask a much more fundamental question. If her real gift is a state of mind, not a collection of things, then what is true wealth? What have we really been looking for this whole time?
And the answer, it flips our whole modern idea of success completely upside down. True richness is not what we accumulate, but what we radiate. It's not what we own, but what we're able to give. Kamala, the Lotus goddess, embodies this spirit of generous overflow. Her abundance isn't locked away in a vault. It's a flowing river. It's abundance that's constantly in motion, not in storage.
And what does this giving or radiating even look like? Well, it's the most natural thing in the universe. The sun doesn't hoard its light, its very nature is to shine. A flower doesn't hide its fragrance, its nature is to release it. And for us, the same principle is at work. It's in the act of creating art. It's in nurturing a family. It's in the simple, selfless act of just truly appreciating a sunset or a piece of music or the face of someone you love. At its core, it's the simple joy of being alive and just letting that joy radiate outwards. Anytime we acknowledge the divine beauty in the world around us, we are part of this flow of giving.
So here's the crucial point. We're faced with two ways of approaching our life's journey. The first way, we seek things from the divine. We pray for a specific outcome, a material thing, a particular relationship. And the tradition warns that if we keep doing that, we will eventually be given over to them. We'll become defined by those temporary goals, our lives shrinking to just getting and keeping them. But then there's the second approach. We change our prayer. We stop asking for things from the divine, and we start seeking the divine itself. And when we do that, we're asking for something infinitely bigger, the total, complete unfoldment of our own being.
And where does this unfoldment happen? The tradition is very clear. Kamalatmika lives in the heart, specifically the heart chakra of the subtle body, which is the center of devotion and unconditional love. This yantra, this geometric map, is like a visual blueprint of that sacred space. The heart is the organ of delight. It's the place where our deepest wish for perfect beauty and happiness lives. The journey to Kamalatmika isn't an outward trip to some faraway heaven. It's an inward journey to the very center of who you are. So with all this in mind, we can look at the journey of the lotus with totally new eyes. It becomes a map for our own spiritual life, where every single stage is sacred. The mud is not something to be ashamed of or to run away from. It represents our very real worldly desires, our connection to the earth. It's the necessary starting point. The water, well, that's the journey itself, the emotional currents, the spiritual searching, the effort of moving toward the light. And the blossom is the state of Kamalatmika. It is fulfillment, grace, beauty, and delight, born from the mud and water, not by denying them.
And this is the ultimate realization that Kamala, as the final wisdom goddess, really offers us. The spiritual path is not about rejecting the world. It's not about crushing your desires or pretending they don't exist. It's about seeing through them. It's about recognizing the divine urge for union, for wholeness, that's hidden at the core of even our most mundane, worldly longings. The desire for wealth is really a deep desire for security and abundance, a divine quality. The desire for a partner is a desire for love and connection, another divine quality. Kamala teaches us to honor the root of the desire, not just what it looks like on the surface.
And so we arrive at the final, beautiful conclusion of this whole journey. The special home of Kamala is sometimes called heaven, a realm of celestial delight where every desire is fulfilled. But this isn't a physical place you go to after you die. It's a state of being. It's a quality of perception that we can touch right here, right now, in this very moment. It's the ability to see the incredible beauty and wealth in everything that's already around us. The highest heaven is simply the full flowering of our own heart's perception. It's the world seen through eyes of delight.
So we end right where we began, with the image of the lotus. But now the question becomes deeply personal. We understand the journey from the mud to the light. We understand that the perfection of the blossom was always there, inside the seed, just waiting. And so the final, lingering question isn't for me to answer. It's for you to hold in your own heart. What beauty, what delight is waiting to unfold from within me?